Samsung Galaxy Note 7 users swapped their devices for alternative smartphones at Incheon International Airport as many airlines ban the device from their flights.
Samsung Galaxy Note 7 users are swapping their devices for alternative smartphones at Incheon International Airport as many airlines ban the devices from flights. Samsung started to rent temporary phones including Galaxy S7 for Galaxy Note 7 users from last Saturday at the airport in South Korea.
We can't bring the phone on board, so maybe when we go back home, back to Singapore and see how the situation like, I mean the refund package, the pricing, and most likely we'll wait for Samsung next model and decide whether should we get S8 or Note 8.
Foreign users were also advised to change the smartphone and get a refund or exchange it in their home country. Last weekend, several airlines decided to ban Galaxy Note 7 mobile phones from flights. German carrier Air Berlin said it had banned Samsung's Galaxy Note 7 mobile phones from flights. Singapore Airlines also said it had banned the mobile phones, and US regulators said the devices would be banned starting from Saturday under an emergency order. Samsung Electronics Company Limited scrapped its flagship Galaxy Note 7 smartphones last Tuesday because of incidents where the phones began smoking or caught fire, dealing a huge blow to its reputation. The decision came after reports of fires in replacement devices prompted a new round of warnings from regulators, phone carriers and airlines.
And Namibia's central bank has kept its key lending rate unchanged at 7% for a fourth consecutive time on Wednesday. According to the financial regulator, this is an attempt to support the weakening economy. The Southern African nation's economy shrunk by 1.2% in the second quarter of 2016, compared with a 3.4% expansion in the first 3 months of the year as construction, hospitality and mining sectors declined. Now let's take a look at the FMDQ OTC debt market. Ayodeji Abimbola is a fixed income trader with UBA and joins me on the program. Ayodeji, it's good to have you on the show.
Yeah, good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Now, the liquidity level in the market is expected to deplete further today, going by the DMO bond auction of $138 billion. Also, we have a central bank doing a primary market auction of 130 billion naira for treasury bills. How does the market look like in terms of the rates and yields?
Yeah, initially the market opened on a very bearish note. But right now, because of the news coming out of CBN in relation to the outcome of the 2 months FX forward, we discovered that CBN may likely sell lower than expected, and because the banks already made provision for a certain amount higher than what is expected now, we expect the market to continue now on a bullish note.
So what is the liquidity level at the markets at the moment?
Well, the market actually opened at a negative of 83 billion, but with the result of the 2 months FX forward now, we expect the level to increase, and based on this, we expect the yield to want to improve, barring any or more issuance from tomorrow.
So, should we expect any major developments by the end of the week?
Yeah, with the result of the 2 months FX forward, that should create more liquidity in the system, and that should create some level of bullish activities. But that is barring any or more issuance from tomorrow, because we expect them to follow through with more issuance by tomorrow. And also the NTB auction of today, it's actually the same amount that is actually maturing, which is about 138 billion, and that's the same amount that is on auction. So that should have about nil effect anyway.
All right, thank you so much, Ayodeji Abimbola, fixed income trader with UBA. Ivory Coast, Senegal and Togo listed Sukuk Islamic bonds worth 766 billion CFA francs. That's an equivalent of $1.2 billion on the West African bourse to allow investors to trade the securities and improve market liquidity. Two of the bonds are Senegalese, which raised 300 billion CFA francs in 2014 and 2016. Ivory Coast raised 310 billion CFA francs in issues in 2015 and 2016, while Togo raised 156 billion CFA francs this year. The five bonds were unchanged at 10,000 CFA francs per bond at the end of the listing session. African countries are increasingly tapping the Sukuk market to fund infrastructure projects, taking advantage of rising demand for Islamic paper among investors in the Middle East and Southeast Asia. Now, Kenya's tourism earnings are projected to jump to 100 billion shillings this year from about 84.6 billion shillings last year, thanks to more holidaymakers from the United States, which overtook Britain as the leading source of visitors this year. Kenya hosted a World Trade Organization conference in December and aims to attract similar events to encourage visitors and investment in tourism.
The number of tourists visiting Kenya this year is expected to go up after a fall in tourist arrivals in recent years. Tourism is a key source of hard currency inflows for East Africa's biggest economy, which boasts palm-fringed beaches and safari trails. But a spate of militant Islamist attacks has put pressure on the industry lately. Visitor numbers and earnings have plunged in the last 4 years after peaking in 2011, as Al-Shabaab militants from neighboring Somalia launched a series of attacks on Kenyan soil in retaliation for Kenya's military intervention in Somalia. Kenya's tourism sector is expected to take another 2 years to recover after the government beefed up security and boosted funding for the sector, according to Tourism Minister Najib Balala.
We have seen the source market trends have changed. Now the number one source market has become United States, and that is very impressive because we don't have even a direct flight to the United States, and despite all travel advisories and warnings by the American government. So the resilience, and actually we are now going to do a survey. What is the thing that the American clientele wants that we should improve as Kenya? Because the numbers are coming in.
Tourist earnings are projected to jump to 100 billion shillings this year from 84.4 billion shillings last year, thanks to more holidaymakers visiting Kenya's game parks and beaches.
It's on that note that we wrap up Business Incorporated. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Bolaji Akinwale.